You want to know what pisses me off? I find it extremely upsetting the way we look at the relationships between men and women. Now, again, I am as gay as can be. I have no interest in cis men at all. And while that's true, I have a lot of cisgender men in my life whom I love. And it really upsets me the older I get because there's such a duality in the way we expect boys and men to behave. So I can remember growing up, and if one of my male cousins got into a thing and they scrape their knee and they start crying, toughen up. You're a boy, be a man. Stop crying. There is this idea that boys are supposed to be more, aggressive. So then what happens? Those boys grow into young men. Those young men have no idea how to manage their emotions because the only emotions that they've really been allowed to have, happiness, desire, aggression. This is not just for the men out here. This is for my cisgender women, my mothers out there that are raising boys and telling them to toughen up. Because it's not just coaches. It's not just the dads. Most of the time, I find it's the women. And I'm going to speak for my community. So I'm going to talk about black women. Y'all going to be mad. Get over it. Your young boys, you are the main person raising them. Let you tell it. And that's to my single mothers. I'm not talking about my two-parent households. However, even those that do have a heterosexual father or cis mother, think about it. Moms, what happens when you want your kid to do something? Is it that you discuss it with your husband? Or do you just expect that your husband is going to go along with what you want them to do because you're the mother? Now, I did not get 100% on all my biology assignments. I'll be the first one to tell you, shout out to Miss Purdue. Yet I'm pretty sure, unless you're going to a cryobank, you're likely going to make that child together. Yes, moms, yes, I hear you. You have that baby inside of you gestating for X amount of time. You have to bring them into the world. I get that. At the same time, are you allowing space for your husband to figure it out? Or do you just expect them to know how to do it? We all need to take accountability. I'm no different. Now, granted, like I said, I'm as gay as can be. I also don't have children right now. Yet, I work and have worked with adults that have children, and I have sure worked with children that have dysregulated parents. So I challenge you, instead of telling your boys to stop crying, let them cry. Instead of telling your children to toughen up because you want them to survive in the world, teach them how to experience their emotions and regulate. Because your child, boy, girl, trans, intersex, non-binary, all of the above, none of those, does not matter. That child is going to have all of the emotions. And it is your job as a parent to give them the space to have their emotions and then show them what to do with them. And if you struggle with that, I hear you. It's difficult. There's help out there. Look for services. Look for things online. Look for parenting classes. That's your job as the parent, as the adult. And if I'm going to take that a step farther, if you're an adult and you're struggling to figure out how to manage your emotions, you don't know what to do in certain situations, and you're just really struggling to just balance, then how the heck do you expect your child to figure that out? Let's take accountability. Again, the services are there. Part of that work is breaking down the stigma. The other part of it is stop gendering things. If someone cries, it's not, oh, you're crying like a little girl. How about you're crying like a person that is upset? Because then what happens? You don't allow your little boys to cry. They grow into young men that don't know how to cry, that get into fights at school because they don't want to tell you what's going on, because you basically told them not to. Then they grow into men that have learned that the only way that is acceptable is to fight, or to drink, or to control. So then what happens when you are that person in a relationship and that cisgender man is now attempting to control by being aggressive? If you want to show a man how to be a man, then teach them from young boys. Let's start there. Teach them from young boys that it is okay to have emotions outside of anger outside of anger, outside of resentment. And let's stop teaching our young men that their purpose is only to provide, because then they have no outlet. And that could be one of the reasons we are seeing such a rise in dying by suicide, particularly with our Black men. We all play a part, and we all have a role. Again, I start with me every single day. What will you do? Peace and love.